Is this not one of the coolest tents you've ever seen? I mean, I just had no idea that this kind of technology existed. Just throw it in the air, whoomp, tent, it's there. I always hate assembling tents, and this is just a game changer for me. Weirdly enough, this is made by Huawei, which is a Chinese company known for making cell phones. But I guess they make tents and all kinds of other stuff too. So that's cool. Anyways, why am I sharing this with you? Well, I bet a lot of you saw Angus's most recent video over at Maker's Muse about sphericons, these really cool shapes. And in there he had a little spoiler that I was working on some myself. And that's true, I've been working on them and I keep coming up with more ideas, so I keep having to print out more sphericons, and that's delaying that video. So instead, I thought I'd put out this little mini video in between. Here's a little spoiler of my own. This is a sphericon, but check out how it snaps as I rotate it. So it starts as just that rotation, and then you offset it, and it just snaps into the different positions. It's super fun to play around with. Very satisfying action going on here. Let me know in the comments if you think you know how I did this. Anyways, I'm still working on that, so today's video is completely unrelated. Instead, today we're gonna be looking at the new 3Doodler Create Plus 3D pen and their portable battery pack, the Jet Pack. That one's been around for a while, but I took these camping with me over the weekend and I did some little tiny projects dealing with this tent. So let me show you what we did. The first thing I wanted to do was take this little loop that's at the top of the tent and convert it into a hook so I could hang this little flashlight lantern from it. Let's see if I can whip up a quick solution with this 3Doodler Create Plus. So we'll go ahead and plug this into that little Jetpack portable battery, and I can turn that on, turn on the pen, and then it takes a minute, maybe 2 minutes to heat up. Once it's extruding, we can start drawing our little hook here on this plastic drawing sheet. I'm using a 3DCimo drawing sheet, but 3Doodler makes one as well. I like this one because it's got this little tiny dot grid on it. So the shape I'm making here is this loop with a small opening, and then on the other end, I'm gonna put an open hook. I'll close the opening on that loop once we connect it to the tent, but for now I'm just gonna leave that gap so that I can slip it on. This is the basic shape that I want, but I'm just gonna keep going over it a few times to really build up the plastic and make a stronger piece. Also, I'm using the 3Doodler PLA plastic because that's all I brought with me, but ABS would probably be a little better suited for this job. Still, I think this should hold up just fine. Alright, that looks like a good thickness, so once it's cooled down, we'll connect it to the loop on the tent, and then I'll go ahead and use the pen again just to close off that little loop so that we have this permanently connected. Here's what it looks like, and now we can hang that flashlight, no problem. Simple, yet effective. Moving on, the next thing I wanted to do was make some extensions for the zippers that open and close the tent flaps. That way it's easier to find the zipper at night and just generally to open and close. To do this, the design will actually be quite similar to that hook we just made, in that I'm gonna once again do a loop but leave a small opening, that way I can connect it to the zipper, and then I'll just make this long rectangle underneath that, and that's gonna be the extension that I can grab onto. Now that I've filled that in, I'm gonna go on top of it with this bright neon yellow-green color, which will make this a little more visible, especially at night. Here you can see the filament actually transitioning, and I decided just to use that as part of the design to get this cool gradient on my zipper extension. So there we go, that side looks good, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and peel it off and flip it over and get some of that bright color on the other side as well. Once again, we're also making the part a bit thicker, that way it'll hold up in the outdoor environment. Cool, so now we can go ahead and hook this onto that piece of rope that's connected to the zippers, and then once again we'll close it up. I'll go ahead and just squish it down a bit while it's still warm, and that'll actually compress the plastic and make it stronger. Here it is in action, and it works great. Let's make another one for that second zipper. I'll start with the same basic design, that open hook and the long rectangular extension. And why don't we add a bit of flair? I'm gonna go ahead and twist this piece while it's still warm, and then I'll let it cool down in that twisted position just to get an interesting shape. Once again, we'll hook that into place on the zipper, and again, I'll also add a second color to make things look interesting. I probably should have done this before twisting that piece because now it's kind of difficult. I got about halfway and then I gave up. Let's just add a little square of color at the bottom instead. There we go, another quick fix, and now I never again have to fumble around to find that little zipper. That's it for my 3D pen mods, so let's go ahead and fold this tent up again. I can just shake out all the dirt in this tent, zip up the doors, and then folding this thing up is almost as easy as assembling it, once you know the trick. Back into the bag it goes, and it's ready for the next camping trip. How cool is that? Alright guys, that's it for today. Like I said, it was a very mini project, but honestly that's about as much as I could get done with this 3Doodler jetpack. The 3Doodler Create itself is a fantastic 3D pen. It seems to be a really nice upgrade on the already solid 3Doodler Create. The jetpack, on the other hand, considering it only lasts 5 or 10 minutes, I don't know why this accessory even exists. This is definitely a pen that you want to plug into a wall if you're going to use it for anything significant. Today's video was definitely just a little sample of what the Create Plus can do, but if you're already sold, I'll put a link to buy that in the description. I'll also put a link for this tent. It's not really related to 3D printing, but boy, is this thing really cool. I can't get over it. How did I not know this existed? Well, that's it for today. I'm gonna get back to printing more sphericons. That should be my next video out, so keep an eye out for that one. But that's it for today, so until next time, I'm Devin. This is Make Anything. Don't forget to stay inspired.